Get promos and discounts from Filipino startups. Check out our partners at the description.
Norman Curato is co-founder and CEO at Xeleqt AI. So hello Sir Norman, welcome to Startup Podcast PH. Kamusta? Kamusta?
Hi, Johnny. Thanks for having me here. Doing good.
Yes, we're very happy to have another AI startup dito sa podcast. Actually, in the Philippines sa ating mga listeners, medyo tumataas ang interest ng mga tao sa AI. So, and dumadami rin somehow ang mga AI related or AI powered startup sa Pilipinas. So, I'm happy to interview another AI Filipino startup. So, I'll start with the first question, Sir Norman. So, ano nga ba ang Select AI?
Sige, so the way we describe it, Select AI is the augmented operations platform for work now. So we help businesses digitalize their field operations by tracking and organizing data from three different sources, namely logistics fleet, field deployed workforce, and distributed work sites. So anything that's out there that we collect data from on a day-to-day basis, then process that for decision making.
Yes, it's very interesting and you're actually using AI to augment or kumbaga to optimize to support yung human or yung workforce operations. But let's start with the basics first, Sir Norman. So ano nga ba yun ng AI? Let's start with that lang muna. What really is AI? Ano nga ba ang artificial intelligence?
Yeah, so it's a very broad topic. To be honest, there's like artificial intelligence is the broader scope of things, and we are in what is called the narrow field of AI, which is machine learning, and we use this type of intelligence to help businesses sort of figure out things in an automated manner so that they can make decisions in their field operations in whatever things they need specifically that is critical to the day-to-day operations of work now. So we apply artificial intelligence to simplify data gathering to reduce 90% of the data collection workload because through the power of artificial intelligence, you can actually automate that and reduce the number of hours humans look for specific types of data. Yun.
Yes, well, that's actually a very good definition. And I just remembered something that I've read, siguro para lang sa ating mga listeners. So, nung Industrial Revolution, nagkaroon tayo ng steam engine, those technologies for mass production. So basically, the machines help the people, help the the human species on the mechanical work. So paano na-multiply yung mechanical power. Right now, nasa year 2024 na tayo, nasa cognitive revolution tayo, yung machines, yung computers, yung AI, ay natutulungan naman tayo sa cognitive tasks sa mga decision making, sa data gathering. So, na-multiply yung capabilities ng mga tao sa pag-gather ng information and using that information to automate tasks and not just to automate but kumbaga to optimize tama yung nagagawa tama yung repeating decision. So I think that's how we can also put that simply, especially si Select AI ang kanyang focus ay sa workforce operations. Now let's go with the problem dito sa mga kumpanya, sa mga maybe Filipino organizations. Ano ba, Sir Norman, ang problem sa mga organizations na ito na nangangailangan ng AI or nangangailangan ng automation? Ano ba problema for example, sa workforce operations?
Sige, let me dovetail on what your statements were before this question. Now, it's interesting that you would note this because yun yung klaseng augmentation that we are actually offering now. So you have your mechanized workforce. Matagal na yan in this industrial revolution has been going on. But for the very first time, we are now able to augment no, that type
Yes.
of operations through augmented decision making. No? So the problem we're solving, especially in the Philippines, is that more often than not, especially with SMEs, we're still using paper and ink or Excel or email to fill out this reports data from industrial work sites sa field, and for mission critical or life and death scenarios, real time transmission is very crucial now. And if you want to curate data needed to prevent the loss of life, damage of properties and assets, which can be detrimental to business, especially ngayong taghirap, no? Businesses are looking for ways to avoid cost and litigation. Kasi alam na, even in the first world countries, there's a lot of retrenchments happening, a lot of efficiencies going on. So the problem that we are solving is that we're helping industries no optimize their field operations to not only avoid this cost but to optimize and become more efficient so that they can do more with less and hopefully wag naman sana na this will cause some mass layoff, but in our kind of field kasi kinukulang rin yung mga tao, it's more the lack of yung talent no drive parang medyo kailangan ng more drivers, more carpenters, more welders. And that's quite opposite from what's going on in the white collar space. No? So, yan. But unfortunately, eto namang mga blue collar jobs, only 1% of technology are actually invested that goes to the hands of these people. No? So, yun yung gap that we're trying to fill up.
Yes, agree. And I think it's actually a very critical gap. I mean, napakadaming advantages ng artificial intelligence. For example nga sa decision making. Not only does it save time, it saves time a lot. Pero for example, like if we compare to like traditional ways on how people usually decide, maybe nakakita na ng isang pagkakamali, mag-fire na ng tao, may maapektuhan ng buhay ng tao. Hindi naman tama yung ganun na, I mean, very subjective ang decision making. So, aside from saving time, I think yung paggamit ng artificial intelligence can also make decision making more objective and more maybe fair and more, kumbaga, mas maraming factors on that to take into consider. So, napakaraming bagay, especially with regard to augmenting yung human well-being, human lives, or yung workforce operations. Pero, can we have a specific example, Sir Norman? At
Yeah.
paano nyo ba in the first place nakita yung gap na ito or yung problemang ito? May mga specific problem na inyong nakita sa mga businesses, sa mga organizations na sa tingin nyo, uy, pwede itong i-solve or i-augment or kumbaga i-optimize using AI. Meron ba tayo dyan mga specific examples or maybe a bit of stories on how really you saw kumbaga that gap or that problem?
So imagine an intelligent knowledge base that's available in the work sites to coach workers, no, to deal with specific scenarios. For example, you're an aircraft maintenance technician. Tapos you're very new to the field, or there's a new aircraft that you're going to service. So instead of you taking, months in adjusting to this, how's about an AI that'll help you coach which of the first bolt you will try to open, what kind of pressure you need to apply there, or in emergency scenarios where you have to apply CPR and hindi ka naman marunong, where, they're trying to democratize AR glasses. What if you can get information straight from that and coached by the type of artificial intelligence that we're deploying in the field so that medyo mabilis yung response. Pangalawa, kagaya ng sinabi mo, it actually enhances coaching. Kasi more often than not, etong type ng mga tao na nasa field, hindi rin pumupunta sa office. Wala nga silang email eh. Wala silang desk of their own. So they're unfortunately coaching in terms of improving their skill sets. Medyo you need to plan it out and you need to group them together. And the feedback mechanism is also difficult kasi they're hoarded in one room for a very quick training. Especially as technical as kagaya ng sinabi ko, a new aircraft, ganun. So if they can do that at the comfort of their own free time, even during working, that will be really great. Ang problema natin is that in those work sites, connectivity is very sparse. So that's one of the key problems why we did not approach it na parang one way. No? We could have just done software, which is very easy. But we felt there should be a layer of technology where we can take AI, bring it offline into devices that are smart enough to work and operate in the field, even with sparse or very limited connectivity. So, kumbaga, bring the decision making closer to the source of the data. So that's
Yeah,
how we're
that's
different from the rest of the other AI startups. No, ano naman to what they're doing, except that ours is specific to an industry na medyo talagang disenfranchised, kumbaga, in terms of technology.
yeah, that's very nice. And that's actually a nice story to hear. And that's true. Kasi most automation startups or at least AI startups, parang they deal nga with automation ng tasks sa mga usually in the same office or in the same place. I think one of like the main difference kaya nyo din na invento yung AI box because you're dealing with how do you augment decision making or how do you augment yung brain ng organization doon sa mga tao na nasa field. How do you make them use all the information gathered? Kumbaga, they gather information, papadala sa central brain system, and then may processing na mangyayari, may decision making, may mga kumbaga i-compile yung information, magkakaroon ng mga new knowledge, and then ibabalik doon sa field. So, how do you augment, how do you help the people on the field on their decisions by using AI. So I think doon pumasok yung AI box na medyo portable and pwedeng maglaman nga nung technology. And I also saw that it's like IoT infused or Internet of Things infused. So can you know more about this AI box, this specific solution, Sir Norman?
Sige, we're very proud to say that we assembled a team that's a 50 plus years of experience combined, no? To be able to do this. And there's this company that's very popular now, and they're ex-Apple mga people now, engineers and executives. I won't mention the name. They're building an AI that you can pin in your clothing.
Uh,
I think by now you should know the name. And this will allegedly, help REN workers and also people because they have their own personal assistant, robotic
mm,
assistant. The problem is that thing costs roughly mga $700. And in the Filipino setting, you cannot actually engineer something very brilliant but very costly. So the way we did it, instead of it's a personalized AI, we sort of built AI around a workspace. So it's a way to share AI where people are, they have their own supervisor or manager that helps them in terms of their work, avoiding accidents, improving their productivity. And on a day-to-day basis, it also reports to the headquarters the output and the outcome of the field operations, because that's very important. Whether or not you're meeting your goals and targets. Now, so how did we come up with the problem? Well, unlike software kasi, hardware you cannot debug. So we realized very early on that in order for us to build the right product, you need to go to the customers and listen to them now. So what happened is that we listened to hundreds and hundreds of customers' frustrations, especially with the present state of business. And some startups get scared and avoid engaging customers that are distraught. No, we have a tendency to listen to them and work with them to solve these deeply entrenched and rooted problems in their industry. Now, so that's how we figured, hey, there's a gap now. Although there's technology is existing ngayon, they're not meeting specific criteria and requirements. So that, it's just technology for technology's sake. Is it really helping these customers? And we benchmark that, and out of our 2 years of existence in the Philippines, we were able to capture a lot of customers because of this now. And this is one of the things that we were very proud of doing, because like we were able to accelerate very fast and grow our revenue because listening to customers is very important. Again, especially when you are a hardware product or a hardware startup, you cannot debug when you mass produce a product. You cannot debug it like software. So we
yes.
need to really be conscientious and really be critical minded, or think critically in terms of how we approach things.
It's actually a very good perspective. First of all, about yung difference ng hardware and software. Kasi ang hardware, hindi siya yung parang sa software na pwedeng magkaroon ng update versions, ano. So, when you sell it, mahirap na siya, or when the client or when the customer, kumbaga, has that AI box, mahirap na siyang i-upgrade to version 2 to version 3 kasi hindi naman pwedeng papadala lahat pabalik sa opisina ni Xeleqt AI and i-update lahat. Unlike sa mga apps sa mga smartphones na through internet lang na-update ano. And then ang amazing pala on how you see this AI back. So para siyang assistant or hindi lang siya AI assistant, para siyang isang coworker din dun sa field ano. That's how I see it eh. So may mga field workers and then meron pang AI box na they can treat as also someone who can help them kumbaga ma-extract the information and kumbaga ma-level up yung kanilang mga decisions. But you mentioned Sir Norman yung you used a lot of customer feedback into kumbaga building the AI box. And first of all, congratulations on kumbaga developing this box. I think it's really one of a kind and really kumbaga dapat ika-proud ng isang Filipino AI company. Pero can we know some examples lang? Ano example ng customer yung may specific problem na maybe nakatulong or specific feedback na nakatulong sa pag-upgrade or sa pag-develop ni AI book. So, can you parang share lang a bit of the process or the development process kung paano unti-unti nabuo si AI Box with the help of yung mga feedback nga ng mga tao sa field or ng inyong mga customers?
Okay, I'll give you a real life example, which is an ongoing feature upgrade that we're doing right now for the biggest logistics company in the Philippines now. So before us, meron na silang solution provider, may hardware, may software. And then, they started searching for something better because they had specific problems in security and safety. That's costing them millions of pesos per accident or per incident. No, in one incident, it cost them about 35 million pesos. No, that's a big amount of money. So they
Very big.
approached us. Yeah, they approached us and said, "What kind of innovation can you help give us to solve this specific problem?" And we realized now they needed something that would inform their entire ecosystem of drivers and fleet now about certain conditions in the field to avoid. Like, for instance, awareness of where areas are uh, sort of during a period of time in the evening that these vehicles avoid because high yung criminality rate. No? Areas where
Mm.
it's most likely prone kung halimbawa umulan or bumaha. Now,
Mm.
traditional boxes that have been placed inside these vehicles, mostly mga GPS trackers from China and ganun, they don't have that kind of intelligence. So we built now, or we're building them a way to annotate and digest this information so that it becomes part of the knowledge base. So maybe, like for example, there's heavy rains during the last quarter, and particular areas in Luzon are accident prone. The next year, that is propagated through a knowledge base that the system will provide route information to reroute vehicles for better, as
Mm.
simple as, meron nga isang case na, fiesta dito. It caused us a 2-hour delay because of the traffic. Like, for example, there's Sinulog next week here in Cebu. There's a lot of traffic here. So for people who are, delivering things, they might want to avoid that period and plan out their operations, avoiding these periods of delay and traffic, and let AI, a form of generative AI, generate the journey management plans for the entire fleet. So that form of intelligence before 2022 perhaps, that was not possible. Because of generative AI, we are now able to provide this kind of knowledge, this kind of ability, or form of automation to help even those that do not interact naman with the AI. They specifically, the type of AI we have is an observer. It's a monitor. It basically annotates what it sees in the field and reports it back, and it becomes part of the data set that improves the driver's lives. Kasi at the end of the day, meron nga ako isang customer, specifically a big, very big FMCG company, said this. This is a statement, and I quote. Sabi niya, "It's sad that in the morning nakikita mo pa yung driver, but at the end of the day, wala na siya because accidents, happen during these periods na kailangan mong i-monitor. Slippery roads, sometimes there are, hindi naman accident, they're hijacking, actual crime that happens. No? So we help save lives rin. So yun.
Yeah, and come to think of it, yung mga tao sa field, sila yung pinaka nangangailangan ng dagdag tulong when it comes to safety, when it comes to kumbaga security ng kanilang mga ginagawa. So, it's very helpful to have AI, to have advanced intelligence or decision making para ma-prevent yung mga ganong mga accidents or yung ganong mga occurrences. And another thing in what you've said that I really like, so it's very good na merong Filipino company, Filipino AI startup na gumagawa ng ganitong AI box. Kasi for example, if you have a similar product, let's say from another country, yung paggawa nung box or yung paggawa nung kumbaga nung let's say no software sa loob, hindi siya in tune, baka hindi siya talaga in tune sa Philippine problem, sa Philippine landscape, and yung data sets na ginagamit, let's say even if gawa naman sa ibang bansa, pwede naman magkaroon ng dataset for the Philippines. Pero iba pa rin kung kumbaga yung pag-process ng data, let's say yung pipelines, yung pag-extract ng knowledge from that dataset, from that database, yung feedback loop, kumbaga from information to that data set, and then how you use it back again to the people in the field. Iba pa rin pag Filipino, kumbaga yung engineers na gumagawa ng box, engineers na gumagawa ng lahat ng sistema doon sa AI system na yun. So I think it's very commendable, and it's very amazing actually that there's a Filipino AI startup that's doing this. Para like sa mga nakikinig, Sir Norman, baka may nakikinig na, let's say, another Filipino business, Filipino company, Filipino SME na interested sa AI box or kay Xeleqt AI. So, ano nga bang mga, let's say, industriya or industry, what types of industries can actually really benefit from this product? Or let's say, what specific instance should should a company start considering having this technology or kumbaga availing this technology? So maybe you can kumbaga quote unquote sell a bit how do you sell kumbaga how do you sell CAI back sa mga other companies?
So let me start by saying what was my mission, no? Or telling you what was my mission in terms of our journey towards building our own technology, as you mentioned, a truly Filipino technology. The first motivation that I had was that I asked myself, in terms of the Philippine industries and AI, now where can we come in that we will become more significant? So I looked at software, and more often than not, software AI, unless you are the likes of OpenAI, Microsoft, or Tesla, those heavyweights, Google, not to forget Google. That space is already on. So what you really mean by AI software is an implementation of any of those companies' large language model. Then I said, what about hardware? So you have NVIDIA, but that is more towards the cloud na hardware. So these are the GPUs that
GPUs.
power artificial intelligence. Now, fortunately, we found a specific segment where companies are now developing what is called NPUs, neural processing units. These are specific chips that run specific models that now, 2024, there will be some releases, mga bagong chips that can actually run large language model inside the chip. As I
Oh.
asked myself, who's doing this? Maybe, in the Philippines, sabi ko, wala pa. So how can this be a significant force in terms of bringing the industries of the Philippines to current status, to be more competitive in their, field, in wherever the market segment they are. So we're very focused on manufacturing, logistics, healthcare. Now we're servicing several hospitals, the FMCG market, and those that operate people specifically in the 7,100 islands that are dispersed. We call them the digitally disenfranchised. And so there's both a
Mm.
cause, no, a social cause. That's what also a technological drive to what we're doing now. So we're making sure that hindi tayo naiiwan in the AI race as a country by building our own products. The other thing is that, of course, with regional instability in different areas of the world, meron din tayo, hopefully, wag naman sana magkaroon ng Asian version. Because in the Middle East, you have a conflict. In Europe, you have a conflict. And, something's brewing here, very nearby, that it so happens our most major supplier ng ating hardware tech is also potentially our nemesis. So it makes sense to start building our own industrial technologies, start building our own hardware, start building our own AI that is secured in our own devices and engines, right? It's not only very critical, it may prove to be something that would be a game changer for the Philippines as a whole and the industries of the Philippines now. Kasi if we're overly dependent on outside technology, especially with artificial intelligence, where you don't know na, no, what's going on behind the scenes. Kasi to be honest with you, do you actually know what OpenAI is doing with your data? Di ba? So, yun. So, having control of your own technologies for the sake of the nation is very important. No? I
Yes.
know this is something very new in the Philippines, but that is what drives me. And I wake up every morning because of that. It's hardware is hard, but fortunately, the Lord has blessed us with good engineers, good customers that we're feeling that this year is going to be the most significant year in our startup journey.
Yes, and that's very true na dapat hindi na tayo masyado rely sa pag-import ng technology, pag-import ng hardware, pag-import ng electronics. Sana ang Pilipinas as a whole, and kumbaga this conversation maybe can also help start ignite that, kumbaga yung mga pusong entrepreneur ng mga Pilipino. Tayo nang gumawa ng sarili nating teknolohiya.
Yes,
I hope,
yeah.
yeah.
We encourage. In fact, sometimes people say, "What about others copying you?" Sabi ko, if they're Filipino, go ahead and copy. By all means, tuturuan mo pa sila. No? And by the way, our manufacturing sector, yung electronic sector natin right now is suffering because there are many companies from America and Europe that have withdrawn, their parang orders. Now they have, kasi there's a slowdown nga in economic growth in these areas. So with that happening,
Mm,
manufacturing facilities in the PEZA regions are actually suffering. Won't it help if we build our local industry around that so that they will have local customers instead of foreign customers lang lahat, di ba? So yun yung rin isa sa reason that I believe we should drive this faster and better with government support. So we believe in that.
yes, yes, very much agree. And maybe nga tama, government support, maybe the government can help, kumbaga can realize na ang laki ng kumbaga impact na makukuha ng ekonomiya natin as a whole when we start developing pa our AI industries, and kumbaga yung core, yung mga hindi tayo mag-i-import. Maybe in the future nga makapag-export pa tayo ng ating mga
Yes.
teknolohiya, ng ating mga
Yeah.
hardware. That's a very I mean, it's very idealistic, but it's very, kumbaga kailangan natin gawin 'to as a country. Ito yung isa sa mga kailangan nating simulan, and maybe kailangan natin kumbaga i-build pa unti-unti unti-unting dadami yung mga Filipino entrepreneurs and innovators, yung mga ganitong companies, and then ma-advance ang ganitong klaseng teknolohiya. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
very that's very nice to see in the future. Punta tayo, Sir Norman, sa mga ilang backstories ninyo. So all of these things, so it's very amazing how you're building the company, how you're actually you're like a Filipino scientist. That's parang the country should be proud of kasi you're innovating this technology, this product na maaaring magkaroon ng malaking impact. Pero let's start with your maybe mga a few years back ano. So you're based in Cebu and parang in the first place, paano ka nga ba napunta sa mundo ng AI or how did you learn about AI and then how did you really start Xeleqt AI, the startup?
Yeah. So we have a very interesting story in the sense that, you know, cross-generational yung aming founding team. We have a large founding team of 7, which is unusual. And I get a lot, bakit 7? Why not 3? I can explain that now. So, um, like I said kanina, this 6 of the 7 have a collective experience of about 50 years in terms of engineering, software, and hardware. So that's very powerful. You cannot see a team that can execute what we're dreaming to execute. No, at least in my perspective, I have the best team to do this job, and I'm very, very fortunate and blessed to have my team now. So, but interesting. The story is very interesting. Now, so I started in the technology space um, quite a few years back now. And if I told you my when was that was, medyo you will know my age, so I won't. No, but it started with a failed business in the area of operations. So the story goes that I operated a distributed business where I had teams in the field. Back then, the technology was like, wala pa ng text eh. You use fax to make our reports. I think email was there already, but yeah, it was like very difficult. It is the wrong time to do remote operations. But short story, to make the long story short, that business failed because there was kind of misappropriations in the resources that I was not aware of. When I became aware, it was too late, and so that shut down. So fast forward years later, years pa later, I decided, sabi ko, why don't I start another business? Now, it actually scared me a lot to even think of starting another business because of my past experience. I lost everything, as in everything there. In fact, when we came out of that parang economic reversal, I was 25 million negative. No? And so, of course, being that experience sort of had some, it was a nightmare for me. But then again, I said, sige, let's consider to do another business. This was not Select, no. This was like another business in systems integration. We started with 3 people and 2 borrowed computers because I cannot hire engineers. As an electronics and communications engineer, I knew how to put things together. I did not know how to code. I taught myself how to code. Fast forward a few years later, we started, sabi ko, there's this thing called startups. Let's look at that. No? The people that I worked with, no, some of them did not have salary. Some of them actually started as OJTs. Um, I think all of the founding team except one started as OJTs or first time employees. No? They came fresh out of graduation and joined, had, I think either they were too naive to join me then, or they were very brave, to join me. Such that when we decided to do the startup, I said, you guys, I'm very thankful na nakabangon ako because of you. Let's start something together. So we started Xeleqt AI 3 years ago, before the pandemic, through acceleration program in Brink, Bahrain. We were supposed to go to Bahrain, build our startup there, and we had this little amount of money that was given to us for funding. But the pandemic happened. Sabi ko, ano ba to? No, kakaumpisa lang namin. It looks like we're facing another failure. So the whole time in the pandemic, it's just like, boil the entire ocean, trying to look for a product market fit. Now, fortunately, natapos rin yung pandemic. And then, tinamaan naman kami ng bagyo dito sa Cebu. So, 2021, 2022. That was really difficult because the economy in at least in Visayas was recovering from that catastrophe. No, the losses there were so huge. Our customers didn't want to buy from a startup that's like new and they did not know anything about. Fortunately, though, I had some track record with B2B. No, the people I'm quite older than my team. Most of my teammates are half my age, actually. Uh, and the good thing is, sabi ko nga, we're cross-generational and we're able to make that work. No, I'm me being a Gen Xer working with Gen Zs. Sabi nila, how does that work? Sabi ko, well, it works. We're able to sort of have it aligned to where they know I'm driven because of my experience. I know, of course, they're concerned for work-life balance and stuff like that. But they can pick up a cause and they said, if not us, then who will do this? Yeah. So that's how we started now. And Jenny and Jay, I found them in when they graduated. Si Jen particularly because they won a pitch competition as a student. Si Lance is actually a son of my first customer sa Sky Cable. And his dad said,
Wow.
you know what, that's interesting that you're doing. Uh, and I'll introduce you to my son. So si Lance, is head of products. And si Jomer and Ruel, they had years of experience working with me in terms of hardware technology. So that's the team. Tapos Kathy, my wife, does operations and sales because she had very extensive 15 years experience in B2B selling. So it helped us a lot that we knew some customers. And then we have technology that we're confident we can build. Tapos we had customers that were willing to become our guinea pigs, so to speak. Well, it took a lot of braving out there and to explore possibility. Of course, a lot of rejection of, also. Hindi naman lahat ng customer that we approach say yes specifically to this new startup that nobody knows about. So right now, hindi na kami no, our brand has propagated to many of the customers, those that are trying to explore new technologies. We're referred a lot, no, especially by our customers to their counterparts in the industry. We're about to close another major account because of a customer recommending us to this very big FMCG company, because they have the same problem. So yeah.
Yeah, pero I'd like to highlight lang yung for me it's very commendable. I mean, the cross-generational team. Kasi ang dami ko narinig ng mga startups recently na parang nahihirapan silang mag-deal with a team na halo-halo yung age, different generations, Gen Z, Gen X. Pero I think with what you've said, I think two, correct me if I'm wrong, or maybe you have another perspective about this. Ingredients ang important for making a cross-generational team work. First is yung leadership. I think it should be a very good leadership na naa-align ninyo ang inyong vision, and hindi lang vision, yung bawat araw na ginagawa ay laging na-retain towards that vision. And second, maybe yung parang um it's not it's not about like the difference between between the generations, between kumbaga yung mga upbringing, yung way of life, pero kumbaga aligned yung again, I think it's also the shared vision. So I think leadership, and there should be a shared vision, and I think medyo swerte si AI kasi isa si AI sa mga kumbaga technology siya na shared between different generations, pero kumbaga may same interest between different ages or different generations,
Sure.
and
Yeah.
same
That's true.
vision in the future. It's all about making the world more efficient, making things more efficient, and improving kumbaga yung decision making ng ng lahat ng sistema sa mundo. um
Yeah.
where
The experience with cross generational teams, is like me as a outsider. Nakita mo yung sa Avatar when they were kind of trying to put this one guy in an avatar body and flying that creature that they had to sort of train and bond with. That is exactly what's going on with a cross generational startup team now, where you have to be a really competent leader. Otherwise, they won't follow you. No, what you don't know what you're talking about. There were cases in the past where they have to really challenge my ideas, which by the way I like about Gen Z stuff. Because if you have uh, a startup team na lahat sila yes man, walang mangyayari. Your ideas will not be challenged. And
True, true,
I
true,
like
true,
this about
true.
my team. Now they say, how does that work? Can we even make that work? Now, so it's like you need to really earn their trust, and that trust currency is a very important factor in building a team. Kahit naman hindi cross-generational trust
Yes,
should be
yes,
there.
yes. Yes, and that's true, that's true, that's true. I mean, it's a good mix. Pangit na naman kung lahat magkakapareho. Maganda pa rin kung at least magkakaiba ng perspective sa mga on how you do things and maybe on how you build the company further. So I think maganda rin naman ng feedback sa iba't ibang thoughts, iba't ibang insights. A short question lang, Sir Norman, about the parang operations nyo with your clients. Ano. So is this more like R&D na you develop your AI box and then you deploy, or parang is it really like a close, kumbaga you have this client, you really work closely with them, you modify the box or you modify the technology specifically for this client. So how does it work, kumbaga yung pag-deal nyo with other companies?
Well, initially it started like that, but we understood that you cannot scale that type of arrangement where you have to modify everything every time you have a new customer. So the rule of thumb is for us, if a customer asks for specific functions that benefit the entire customer base, we'll build that
Mm.
in a specific time frame. So first in, first out. And when that feature comes out, everybody benefits from it. If a feature request does not align with that principle, we don't do it. Because again, it does not benefit the rest of our customers. This way, we have very high loyalty from our existing customers because they know the product keeps improving. Of course, we understand no that it can only improve so much that you cannot have 1,000 features and every one of those features will be used by your customers. You only have specific few. So ang nangyayari, we hone towards that and make that our stable sort of product, and we build around that in terms of our sales. The rest of the other outliers, will go away. The features that are not so significant over time silently will go away. So we're cognizant naman to build a scalable startup. You have to have a repeatable sales model. No?
Mm.
And building for every customer is not repeatable sales model. Right now, I have a customer under his umbrella are 500 customers. So dealing with all 500 customers as asking specific things.
Ah,
Sabi namin, no. No? So we're building a subset of features that benefits all of you. We will not entertain each single one of your requests now. So yeah, so that we're not also swamped and inundated and we have a lot of technical debt. Kasi we're a very small team. We are a lean and mean fighting machine, so to speak. And the secret to our success is to be able to create that repeatable sales model. In fact, this year we're gonna go change our model a bit to where it's product led. Now, let the product speak for itself and let customers find it because they understand. I have a problem. This product can solve. Ganon. So parang
yeah, yeah.
discoverable yung product. So before we did it
Mm.
and showed our customers, ito yung product. What can you do with it? Right now we're saying this is the product, and if you have a problem that this product does well to solve, then this is the right product for you. So ganon. Also, that way, if they're not really to be our customers, kasi hindi naman lahat ng customers fit sa amin. No? So some of the customers will identify, no, this is not the product for us. So we don't spend a lot of time dealing with proof of concept and stuff like that, especially with hardware.
Mm.
So we need to be really efficient in terms of identifying customers. So we have a specific bracket of customers in terms of revenue that we also target. So yeah.
Yeah, and it really makes sense. And I think ito nga yung kumbaga difference ng R&D focused startup sa, let's say, operational startup, na yung R&D startup, it's more of like you develop the technology, the product first, and then pag operation startup, this is more like kumbaga yung matching really your product with the pain point of the customer and kumbaga finding that product market fit and then closing that gap. Kasi important din especially in the startup sense kasi kailangan na-sustain din yung startup. Kailangan may revenues din somehow So kailangan sustainable yung operations and then kumbaga you have this partnership or you have this client base this na kumbaga it's like look then na you develop the product for them and they also help you develop the product. So I think it also works like that. So
Yeah,
can we know?
that's why, let me add. No, that's why listening to customers helps a lot. No, kasi when you go to a customer and he says the same thing as the other two guys said, no, sabi nila problema ko to. Tapos this other guy says, yeah, this is my problem. That actually validates, no, and a lot. It
Mm,
helps you solve a problem that's common, and you don't have to solve specific problems na kani-kanila lang. No? So when the other guy says it, tapos this guy echoes that, sabi na yun, there's something to this. And if we go to another customer and he says that, let's build this feature. Ganun yan. So, yeah.
mm. True. Ayun, so can we know a bit of your future plans? So ano ba ang inyong mga future plans for the AI box for Xeleqt AI? And in the future, do you plan to export this ba to other countries? Can we know a bit lang of the kumbaga future plans for Xeleqt AI?
Yeah. So right now, we are relaunching three of our cloud services. We're what you call a compound startup now, namely the Select Mobility Augmented Vehicle Operations Cloud. And then we have Select Agility, which is the Augmented Workforce Operations Cloud. And then we have Select Visibility, which is the Augmented Worksite Operations Cloud. So anything in terms of operations is covered by these three parang cloud services. We're launching a new one within 6 months from now, which is Select Verity, which is a billing operations cloud. So we understood, listening to the customers, one of their pain points is billing their customers based out of the work that is done in the equipment hours that is used to do projects. And that's a pain that they have to do using Excel. I mean, why don't we automate that? If you have a product, we will buy. So yun,
Mm,
doon pa lang, meron na akong additional revenue stream na. The other thing that I'm really looking at now is we're creating vision models to create the first augmented vision operating system na for this type of customers. So it's a general purpose vision operating system that you can choose your model and apply that model in a intelligent camera like device to be able to say track the activity of workers in a construction site. Meron ba nag-away? Are they sleeping? Are they fighting? Are they, working with their hands? Ganun. So you can choose that model and pay the commensurate uh, parang recurring fee for that. And then on the same device, you can put that in a manufacturing type of environment to say monitor product defects that go through the line. Same hardware, same sort of base operating system, different model. So yun yung isa sa mga uh, projects or parang part of our timeline that we're trying to accelerate to create a augmented vision operating system that we will be able to put in cost-effective devices kasi cost efficiency or having products that customers can afford, even if they're especially kami ang model namin, we don't sell the hardware, we sell the subscription services around the operation.
mm,
The hardware is an enabler, but 80% of our revenue still comes from software actually. So
mm.
we're what you call hardware enabled software as a service. Parang
Yeah.
ganun. It's a fancy parang definition. But our ahead of us will be a series of product launches that we will be doing starting March. This will hopefully I can invite you. Now we will do parang roadshow in Metro
Mm.
Manila. We'll do one
Oh.
in Cebu, and then we're doing one in Davao, just so that we can cover all our customers
Mm.
and all our prospects. And we'll launch the product there. We'll have customers try out these products and apply this in different fields like robotics, drones, and those types of technologies where a vision, para general purpose, cost effective vision system can be fine tuned. And so we will have an AI marketplace that it can buy their own models to
Ah.
use. Parang ganun. Pero
Yeah.
this is specific to Edge AI. This is not like the other AI companies, no, like Hugging Face. That's everything AI. This
Mm.
is specific to Edge enabled AI. No, and the other thing
Mm.
that finally we are also developing, so we're developing a 5G device powered by AI to enhance and accelerate, no, the interaction between cloud-based AI and edge AI. Kasi, while it's good, we have AI that can operate offline. Imagine the power of augmenting that device with AI that is powered in the cloud. No? Right? So I think that's something I'm really excited to do.
Yeah, I'll go din sa inyong roadshow. I think that's also exciting to see the products. Kumbaga, it's like a showcase of your technology and in yung mga innovations. Para pala itong ano no, just when I think about it, parang yung mga cable, yung mga box sa mga cable TV, and yung mga Netflix box, yung mga box siya, it's a hardware, and then marami kang pwedeng gawin doon sa box na yun. You can connect to Netflix, you can connect to Prime TV, you can connect to other devices, etc. So parang it's a box na maraming AI solutions na laman. So I think that's really exciting, and nag-work siya in a subscription model, yung access mo dun sa iba't ibang teknolohiya. I think that's very exciting din, and I think it's very, kumbaga, it's the perfect setup for this kind of technologies para ma-avail and magamit ng mga customers. Ayun, so maraming salamat Sir Norman for this conversation. So it's really nice to hear what you're doing. The AI technology na pausbong pa sa Pilipinas, and how kumbaga sana in the future dumami pa ang mga AI entrepreneurs, and sana in the future hindi tayo import ng technology. Sana we can build our own, and maybe we can export our own para masuportahan ang ating sariling mga industriya, at hindi tayo nalulugi sa presyo kapag may mga aberya sa supply chain outside our country. So, if our listeners pala want to know more about Select AI, maybe they want to partner up with you, maybe they want to be a customer, maybe they're interested sa inyong technology. So how can they know more? How can they contact you? Maybe you can lead them to the website or email or wherever they can contact you.
Sige. So our website address is www.select.com, and you can actually directly email me, no? Curato, that's spelled Curato at select.com. Now, if you're interested to join our team, no, be part of a rocket ship that will change, the landscape of the Philippine industries, um, do email me directly, because I vet all the technical applicants. No, in our company, I not only act as CEO, I'm actually the current standing CTO, because all the designs and all, I'm very hands-on with regards to our technology. But I'm realizing that I have to sort of delegate some of this. So we're looking for key people in our company, and the way to start there, like my founding team, they started at the bottom, but now actually they're taking up bigger roles. Lance has been speaking a lot with our customers. He's not here right now. He's in a speaking engagement, and he's our head of products now. He practically pitched in the PLDT Startup Innovation Challenge almost a few weeks before the slingshot, no? And we won those pitch competitions back to back, right? So I have a team that's very proficient in, and they say, you know what, you have a team that all of you can pitch. I said, yeah, because we want to train ourselves to be responsible for our own startup now. We need to know how to talk
Mm.
to VCs, to customers, and also to of course, our teammates and future teammates, maybe again, if you want to join our team, by all means. Now we're setting up a Manila office so that engineers, software developers who want to apply can apply in our Manila office now. So I'm going there tomorrow to help facilitate that. So yeah,
Maraming salamat Sir Norman and all the best sa inyong pagpunta sa Manila, sa pag-set up ng office and sa inyong keynote speech, tama ba? So maraming salamat for sharing about Xeleqt AI. Thank you.
thank you for this opportunity. Salamat. Everybody, bye-bye. Salamat.
Bye-bye. Thank you.
Thank you very much to our 34 patrons. This episode is super powered by Xeleqt PH Academy, our official e-learning partner, plus certifications on Lean Six Sigma, project management, data science, and many more. 1. CFO services, bookkeeping and tax and payroll processing for startups and small businesses. DV Code Technologies, IT solutions specializing in software development, blockchain smart contracts, digital wallets, decentralized applications, and cybersecurity. Voila, the next evolution of digital trust, privacy-focused, seamless digital experience for sharing identity information across Web 2 and Web 3 ecosystems. Buzz, Web3 microblogging app promoting freedom of speech and content ownership. Benjoy's Food Products, the home of premium bacon ends, Tapa, and Tocino. And Space Cebu, the biggest branch in the Philippines, global co-working space, meeting rooms, and private offices for startups, digital nomads, and freelancers. Looking for buy and sell online with Curato sellers. NutriCoach, the all-in-one productivity tool for dietitians and nutritionists. And Spotify Team, podcast launch, production, editing, and management company, helping to increase podcasters' efficiency. This episode is powered by Contact, affordable RFID business cards, Uplift Code SeriousMD, Board Prep, Pareto Consulting, Zayls, and Packetworx. Please support the podcast through the links in the description.